been having such an interesting conversation with my good friend David Meinz. Last week, we just talked about cardio health for women, signs of women having heart attacks, and statistics that make you pay very much attention to your body. So I'm going to bring David back in, and he's going to share a little bit more about health for women. We are going to be talking about different vitamins and supplements, but don't listen to me. Listen to the expert, and there he is, all the way from Orlando, Florida, who's been touring our beautiful state with his great message. David, have you had fun in South Carolina?
I have had fun in South Carolina. It's a very nice place, nice people. It's kind of peaceful here. I like that.
It's peaceful. And can I just say also that you had a lot more fun with me. I already know that. Although my cat wasn't happy, but everybody else was happy. But so I have had, I really got a little stressed out, Dave, because I know you have a very interesting diet. And I don't want to tell people your diet. I want you to tell people your diet. So I don't want to get anything wrong. But I did cook a healthy meal for David. And it really, the reason I'm saying this is because Thomas and I, our wheels started turning about what maybe we need to change. So tell folks about breakfast, lunch, and dinner and what you'd like. And you're very healthy and look great. I mean, what? You're 84, something like that?
84 years old?
Yes.
Can you believe it? I can't. But my 99-year-old mom says I look pretty good. So there you go.
Well, you do. You look great. You really do.
I'm 71 to be technical about it, 71. And I go to my high school reunions every 5 years because I look better than almost everybody there. That's why.
Don't you love it? Don't you just love that? You eat your heart out, sorta. So, okay, you eat no breakfast.
Right. I don't eat breakfast. There's a backstory to that as well. I will just tell folks I do quite an extensive program where we talk about all of this. Some of you have heard that are watching, you know about something called insulin resistance, which is called pre-diabetes. And according to the CDC, about 50% of American adults have insulin resistance, pre-diabetes. By the way, it does not matter if you go to the doctor's office and you're told your blood sugar is fine and your A1C, which is the 3-month average, is fine. Really doesn't matter so much. What can happen is you can be fine with your blood sugars for years, and then one time you go to the doctor and they tell you you're diabetic. What? I've been fine all these years and now I'm diabetic. How did that happen? I'm diabetic. I caught diabetes at the doctor's office. I'm not going back there anymore. Well, you don't catch diabetes and you don't get it quickly. It takes a long time to get it. It takes a decade or two to get it. And what happens first is something called insulin resistance, pre-diabetes. And that has implications for all kinds of problems. Number one being the big killer of women and men, surprise heart attack or stroke. One of the ways you deal with insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, is that you stop bombarding your cells with insulin, because the average American eats too much too often. They get up in the morning, they have breakfast, then they go to work and maybe there's something to nibble on. And then of course they have to have lunch. And then somebody had a birthday at the office, and so you gotta have some birthday cake in the afternoon. And then you have a healthy meal for dinner, but you gotta have ice cream before you go to bed. And all day long, you are bombarding your cells with insulin to get all that blood sugar into your cells so they can do the work. If you continue to do that round the clock, at least 12, 13, 14 hours, eventually the cells say enough. Too much insulin. We're not responding to this anymore. So what you do to fix that is absence makes the heart grow fonder. And so we got to stop bombarding the cells with insulin. To do that, you eat in a certain time frame. I eat from about 12 noon till about 6 or 7 at night. You've heard of it called intermittent fasting. I like to call it timed eating. I eat in a certain amount of time. So I eat a good meal at lunch, a good meal at dinner, maybe snacks, some nuts or something in the middle of the day around there. And then that's it. And now what happens is my cells are not bombarded with insulin all the time. And when it's time to eat and the insulin levels goes up, the cells respond. They say, come on in, blood sugar. Blood sugar comes down, insulin levels come down, your heart attack risk comes down. And frankly, it doesn't matter if you got normal blood sugar or normal fasting blood sugar or A1C, because the pancreas, which produces insulin, can be working overtime for years to make those numbers look nice and level. But what happens is after a while, that pancreas can't produce anymore. And that's when the doctor tells you you're diabetic. So we want to catch you before that. And Jane, you might remember that I gave everybody in our program a formula to see if they might be diabetic. Do you remember what that formula was?
Yes. Several of my friends went home and got their lipid profile, and is it triglycerides divided by your LDL?
HDL.
HDL.
So for those watching, find your blood work, your most recent blood test, take the triglyceride level, that should be on your report, divide it by the HDL. That's the good cholesterol. Triglyceride divided by the good HDL. We want it 2 or under. 2 or under. If it's above 2, there's a good chance you have insulin resistance. And if you do, you will do better eating in a certain window of time during the day and not beyond that. That will help reverse that situation.
Yeah. So another thing I noticed that you did before we get into the supplements, you like lukewarm water. I
do.
And that is because?
Well, I can't tell you that unless you buy my book.
Sold.
And by the way, that's booksbydavid.net, just in case we didn't mention that already.
Well, I'm going to put that link up so folks can see these wonderful books. So why is it that you do drink?
That's a personal preference only. I have nothing to
okay.
set up other than room temperature water settles better with me. I don't like real cold things. It just doesn't settle with my stomach very well. So
doggone on it. I've been drinking lukewarm water since you left. I'm getting my ice out.
Good. I will tell you, the research is pretty clear. Ice cold water gets absorbed quicker than room temperature water. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So if you're out there doing some kind of intensive sports or running, ice cold water actually gets absorbed into your body quicker. So that's okay. But I will tell you, if you go to Europe, it is rare to find anything ice.
Oh, there's no question about that.
This ice and everything is an American invention.
Oh,
It's not. I mean, even if you ask for ice in Europe, they might give you a cube or two, but you don't get half the cup. And isn't it interesting how the soda people and the restaurant people, they can give you a lot less soda if they fill half the glass up with ice. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, yeah.
So they're saving money by giving you all that ice.
So, David, I know when I was a child, my mother we'd have to take a one a day, a Fred Flintstone one a day. That's the only way she could. So we've come a long way. So tell me some of the vitamins that you would recommend for women.
Well, I call it the Super 7. The Super 7. There's lots of them out there, but I think you can get overwhelmed. So these are 7 that I think are very important. First of all, a multiple vitamin mineral designed for women. I don't like a one a day. I like a women's formula. Or for men, I like a men's formula. Men have no business taking the iron a woman needs during her reproductive years. It actually can hurt a man's health. Women need more iron during the reproductive years. That's why they need a women's formula. Once you get past, let's say, 60 or so, you should take a silver formula, because it doesn't have iron in it. Women past menopause don't need that iron anymore. Plus, you need more B12. We decrease our ability to absorb and utilize B12, the vitamin B12, as we get older. And so they add B12 to a silver formula. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you probably already know that you need to supplement with B12 because you're usually not getting it in plant-based foods. By the way, you can be very healthy if you're a vegetarian or a vegan. Jane, you know what a vegan is, right?
Well, a vegan, there's another term for that too. Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
A vegan is a vegetarian with an attitude.
I gotcha. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know some vegans, and that's fine. I like vegans.
They're not happy. They don't get to eat all that junk food.
So just kidding, everybody. Don't write Jane any letters, okay?
Yeah, just write David. Here's his address.
That's right. Well, so let's start with a basic multiple vitamin for women based on sex, and also, I don't mean frequency, but I mean which one you are.
Got that one.
And then I mean also your age. That
Age.
is how you determine what multiple you should take. Okay. I will tell you, most multiples in the drugstore are formulated for women in their reproductive years. So if that's you watching right now, you have a lot of flexibility. But if you're a woman of a certain age and you've gone through menopause, you don't need to be taking that one. You need to take a silver formula. Same for the man in your life, a silver formula. So it depends on who you are and what time of life you're in. That's important. Next on the list is calcium. I think calcium's fallen out of favor a little bit because it got a bad reputation here lately in the last couple of years. Here's what we found. Very good study. You know, women have been told to take calcium for years. That's all you hear, for your bones. For the last 30 years, women take calcium. And now a big study came out recently, and it found women that followed the rules and did what they were supposed to do and took calcium, not only did not decrease their rate of bone fracture, and they increased their risk of cardiovascular disease. How about that one? That's what you get for following the rules. Well, thanks very much. Here's what we think we now understand why that went so wrong. You're trying to build this building called your skeletal system and to a degree your teeth. That takes the building blocks called calcium. All we were doing is dumping calcium at the delivery site, but there was nothing to control where it went or where it was delivered to. Here's what we now understand. Calcium is the building blocks. Vitamin D3 is the delivery truck. And vitamin K2 is the supervisor.
Is that Super K? Is that Super K?
It could be, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Super K by that brand, yes.
Okay.
And that's K2. So once again, calcium is the building blocks.
Right.
D3 is the delivery truck. K2 is the on-site supervisor. So all these women taking calcium, it was not being delivered properly, and there was no supervisor. And so this calcium not only went to the bones, but it went to the soft tissue like the arteries, and that's why their heart disease risk went up.
Gotcha.
So now we don't recommend any of those by themselves. We recommend all three: calcium, D3, and K2. So that's next. So that would be part of the Super 7. Next would be magnesium. Depends on who you are and what your diet is, on whether you're getting enough or not. I take a magnesium every day of about 500 milligrams. I think that's pretty good. You have two choices that I think are the best. Magnesium glycinate, Glycinate, glycinate is the best absorbed of all the magnesiums. But there's another one on the horizon now that's available. It's called magnesium threonate, Threonate, threonate. Magnesium threonate actually crosses the blood-brain barrier. Most others don't. This one does. What that means is it may actually have some positive impact on mental acuity and cognition. Might just make you a little bit sharper. I take magnesium glycinate because it gets the best absorption, and I'm already pretty sharp, so I don't need that other one. But Jane, you might try this.
Yeah, you know me. Yeah.
I do know you. Next on the list is omega-3s. A lot of folks watching probably are already taking omega-3s, the fish oils. And what you want to do is make sure you're getting the right kind of them. There's three basic ones, something called EPA, something called DHA, and the other one called ALA. ALA comes from plant sources. It's omega-3. Unfortunately, your body does not like it very much. Your body can only use about 5% of the omega-3s that come from plants. Like you've heard flax has got omega-3s. You've heard walnuts have got omega-3s. Your body doesn't care for them very much. What it loves is the kind that come from fish, for example. And that's DHA and EPA. Your brain has actually got those made up. So your body loves those. And when you look for an omega-3 supplement, I don't care how much omega-3 is in there. It doesn't matter. I don't care how much fish oil is in there. It doesn't matter. What matters is the milligrams of DHA and EPA. And let me just tell you, DHA should be about 500 milligrams a day. And the other one, EPA, should be about 700 milligrams a day. You should look on the label of your fish oil to make sure you're getting EPA and DHA and shows you the amount. If it doesn't show you the amount, get another brand.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally on my Super 7 is vitamin C. Vitamin C, most people familiar with this. A lot of Americans don't get enough. Some get plenty if they're eating fruits and so forth. But vitamin C, about 90 milligrams a day. But to saturate your blood so you got maximum vitamin C dosage in your blood takes about 250 milligrams. Now, here's the thing. Your body cannot absorb a lot of vitamin C at one time. I would suggest you spread that out. If you got one pill, don't take one pill. Cut it in half if you can, or get a smaller dosage and take it twice a day. You will increase the absorption that way. So that's Super 7.
That's incredible. And we've gone so over, but it's so interesting. I didn't want to stop you. So I love that. And we're going to come back and we have some other questions that I have, just like I'm a coffee drinker. And I also want to talk about artificial sweetener and the soft drink situation that a lot of people do love their soft drinks. And I also want to talk about best exercises for women. So we're going to sign off. And of course, we're all wearing the same clothes unless you want to go change into your swimsuit to match the background. But I'm keeping this on. But we're going to, so tune in next week for more of David Meinz' incredible information to help us have those healthy 10 bonus years. Can we call it that, David? Yes. 10 bonus years at davidmeinzbooks.com.
No. Booksbydavid.net.
I was so close. I need that head vitamin.
You do.
I do. All right. Till next week.